It's James Dean Bradfield in for Hugh Stevens tonight on BBC Radio Wales. I brought some of my favourite tracks with me, from classics to new Welsh sounds, and starting off the show tonight is Alanis Morissette with Head Over Feet.
BBC Radio Wales.
I had no choice.
That was Alanis Morissette with Head Over Feet. I know a lot of people that went to see her in Cardiff this summer, and they all absolutely loved it. They all got quite emotional about seeing her again. So anyway, here I am. I'm sat in Hugh's seat. He sent me a message while I was on holiday in the beach in the south of France a couple of weeks back, asking if I'd sit in for him while he's gallivanting away somewhere else. And I had to say yes, really, because I owe him about 3 pints on my last recall at various gigs or whatever. I've gotten out of buying him a round back or so over the last couple of years or so. So here I am to pay my debt to Hugh. I'm going to be playing some tracks tonight, and this is Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. Okay, I'm just going to talk over John Bonham's drum fill there, which is sacrilege, I'm sure. I remember us trying to do that in my living room in Pontryffaith a couple of times, and we gave up after about two attempts, I think. Anyway, that was Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. This is James Dean Bradfield here on BBC Radio Wales, sitting in with you until 10 p.m. This next track brings back some really quite strange memories for me. I remember going on a school trip to Bristol Zoo. I don't know, when I was about 11 or 12, perhaps 11, 10, and I started singing this song, and all the girls wanted me to go up in the back seat with them, and they said, "Oh, you can sing like Kate Bush, you can sing like Kate Bush." And it was my first taste of popularity, and so whenever I kind of see this song, I just think, wow, that was my entrance into show business. So this is Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush. That was Amy Winehouse, and Our Day Will Come. This is James Bradfield from Manic Pictures, sitting in for Hugh Stevens on BBC Radio Wales. And this next song is by a band whose singer I really admire. She's called Karen O. And whenever I see her, I always think that if Nicky Wire had been a lead singer in a band, he would have had this kind of style to him. So this is Heads Will Roll by the Yeah Yeah Yeahs.
Off with your head.
That was Heads Will Roll by Yeah Yeah Yeahs, and this next track is by a band that had a massive impact on me when I was young. I picked a lot of these tracks myself, and this is definitely one of those tracks. This band had such a hold on me. I went and bought every one of their albums. I kept going from catching the bus from Pontryffaith to Cardiff to get all these records obsessively. And this song is from the part of their career where they just blew everything open, and they went from the biggest underground cult band to overground massive stadium band. And I love this song because it still had a narrative of talking about industry in Scotland and post-industrial poverty in Scotland and things like that. So this is Waterfront by Simple Minds. So that was Columbia by Oasis. It's always a real kick for me to hear that song, because I remember me and Richie going to see Oasis at TJ's right at the start of their career, and they played that song that night, if I remember rightly. So that's a good memory for me. This next song is also quite special for me. I do not know why the WRU do not use this song when the Welsh rugby team come out on the pitch. I mean, when we were winning, of course, not now, which is, we're not winning, obviously. But when we were winning, when we were reaching the semi-finals of like World Cups, you know, when we were coming out, you know, on the pitch in Cardiff against all these teams, they should have been using this song as our intro. Also, I think this is my dog's favourite song too. So this is Gimme That Boom by Skindred.
Just give me that boom!
Hello, this is James Bradfield, sitting in for Hugh. That was Emperor's New Clothes by Sinead O'Connor. And yeah, it's kind of really do miss her voice, I must say. This next track reminds me of, well, when me and my wife had our first kid, and we used to just play this album all the time. It used to calm us down, because obviously when you have a kid, everything becomes just a little bit more stressful, and this album was constantly on in the background, so it's kind of a bit of a comfort blanket for me. It makes me feel like Linus and Charlie Brown. So this is Shark Ridden Waters by Griff Rhys. was Shark Ridden Waters by Griff Rhys off the album Hotel Shampoo, one of my sonic comfort blankets. My mum was a massive fan of Tina Turner. I've got to say, when I was young, about 12, I think Tina Turner was definitely one of my first crushes. My mum used to play this song a lot around the house. It's just a stomper. And my mum was an amazing singer. She was a good darts player, really good darts player, really good singer, amazing pastry cook. And she gave me quite a good background in music. And she kind of taught me how to sing just by osmosis, really, just when she was singing in the kitchen. So, for Susan Bradfield, this is Nutbush City Limits by Tina Turner. That was the glorious Badfinger from Swansea with Name of the Game. The drums and the piano on that song are just so majestic. They were unmatched, I think. When I used to go see Nick and Richie in Swansea University, there was a shop on the hill called John Ham Music, which sell guitars, and it took me about 20 years to realise that was a brother of Pete Ham from Badfinger. Anyway, this next song is a particular favourite of the Manics, Richie included. We all love this song, Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. That was GNR, Paradise City. I'm James Bradfield. I'll be back with plenty more records after we get the news, travel and weather for Wales.
This is...
I feel good.
That was Jimmy Brown, Living in America from Rocky IV. This next track has ambushed me in my life somehow. When you get in the car and you link your phone up to everything and you get a random playlist coming up, and this song just comes up at least once every week for the last 3 years or so. At first it haunted me, but now it haunts me in a really positive way. I just love this song. I love the closeness of it. I love the empathy of it. I love the spider kind of web nature of the way it just kind of wraps itself around you and then just stays. This is Aberdaron by Buncath. That was Aberdaron by Buncath, still haunting me in a good way. I'm James Bradfield from Manic Pictures. I hope I'm not messing this up for you, Hugh. I'm trying to keep the place neat and tidy for you. No coffee stains on the place or anything like that. So, when you get back, if anything's wrong with the place, it's not my fault. This next songs always bring back memories, and I can't stop doing it. I was having breakfast in LA in 2018. And someone came and sat next to me with a lot of people, and it was Debbie Harry from Blondie. I think she had an egg white something. I think it was quite healthy. And this is Maria by Blondie. That was White Horses by Wolf Alice. It looks like they're just about ready to dominate the world now. We've played on the road with them quite a few times, and like I said, it looks like the world is theirs now. This next song used to be one of my going to college songs, so I'd catch the bus from Pontypridd Firth down to Cross Keys, and I'd put this song on in the morning when I was having my fish paste and toast or Marmite and toast. That kind of classy food I'd have before I go to college, do my A-levels. And this is one of the songs I always used to play. This is So Central Rain by R.E.M. That was Where Are Your Kids Tonight by C-Matt and John Grant. It was the first time I'd ever become aware of C-Matt. I think it was 2023. So obviously I discovered her, and I just still absolutely love that song. And I love John Grant too, because his album The Queen of Denmark is still one of my favourite records. This is James Dean Bradfield from Manic Preachers sitting in for Hugh, and this is the song comes off my second favourite David Bowie album. I used to be obsessed with this song. I once saw John Frusciante from Red Hot Chili Peppers do an amazing acoustic cover of this. This is Modern Love by David Bowie. That's Modern Love by David Bowie. This is James Bradfield from Manic Preachers. And this next song is by a band called 10,000 Maniacs. This was a band that had a bit of an effect on me in the mid-80s when I was buying The Enemy and Melody Maker and Sounds. I loved the way that they used certain different rhythmical patterns in their songs. I loved the way they just skipped around the beat. And I was listening to a lot of 10,000 Maniacs when we recorded our last album, Critical Thinking, just because I was looking for ways to try and fit just slightly more subtle rhythms into tracks and stuff. So sometimes you just go back to the source of the things that inspired you when you were young. And this is definitely one of those bands that did that for me. This is What's the Matter Here by 10,000 Maniacs. Wristwatch by MJ Lindemann. I am. Who am I? I'm James Bradfield from Manic Preachers. Where are we? We are listening to Radio Wales, and I am sitting in for the great Who. This next song kind of frustrates me because I've been trying to make the Manics have a song like this for years, where the vocals don't come in for about 2 minutes. It's just drum rolls everywhere. I love this song. I was once caught ear drumming to this through my living room window by one of my friends. He just sat there watching me for 2 minutes, and I felt so embarrassed. Also, I went to see this band at the Motorpoint Arena around about 2 years ago, and it's one of the best concerts I've ever been to in terms of the sound and the set list and just the general feeling that was engendered in the room just from seeing this band after such a long layoff. So, off the album, Head on the Door, this is Push by The Cure. That's Dancing in Volcanoes by Gueno. I love Reese's guitar work on that. It's such an evocation of the way I felt when I was 16 or 17, when I was furiously just trying to copy all my heroes and learn their parts. I think his guitar playing that is just amazing. And I think Gueno is right, and this album has taken a step up too, and I'm still enjoying it. So from one Welsh legend to another, we're going over to David Wrench, who's mixed so many massive hit records and hit albums over the last 15 years or so, and he mixed our album Ultra Vivid Lament. He did an amazing job. This is a track that I don't know if a lot of people have ever heard of this. For me, it feels like if somebody was to commission somebody to write a song for a musical about Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, this would fit the bill. I've always wanted to do a good cover of this song, so this is Black Roses by David Wrench.
Well, beaten of the rain.
Okay, we're going into the next song, and I suppose subconsciously this singer had a bit of an effect on me. When I was young, I sang in choir. My mum was a loud singer. I'm a loud singer. This guy definitely is a very loud singer. And once in a pub, we got challenged to a bit of a yell-off. In my defence, I was just coming back from a vocal injury, so he kind of won. And that person that won the scream-off against me in a pub in Manchester, only just, was Noddy Holder. And of course, he's the singer from Slade, and this is Come On, Feel the Noise. Come on, Noddy, let's have a rematch one day. Now I'm over my vocal injury. Anyway, there's only 1 hour left. This is James Bradfield. We will be back after the news, travelling weather for Wales.
This is Radio Wales on BBC Sound.
That was World Shut Your Mouth by Julian Cope. Good Welsh by Julian Cope. Not a lot of people know that. I was a big fan of Julian Cope when I was young, but I was not a fan of Teardrop Explodes, which is the band that he came from. And so that was Julian Cope, and I remember him singing that song on the top of some kind of tripod at a gig, which was really quite strange. This next track is from a band that I hammered this record last year, especially in the studio. We got the vinyl of this in the studio. Simply Put is one of my favourite records of last year. This is Dosbarth North by Anis. That was Dosbarth North by Anis, one of my favourite records of last year. Next, we have what I would call one of the first post-lockdown bands, I suppose. This band came out of lockdown, it seems to me. And their first album, I think, is just perfect indie guitar album. It's just amazing. The lyrics are amazing, the delivery, the production, everything. And this is off the new album, which I'm still digesting. I love this song. This is Davina McCall by Wet Leg. That was Davina McCall by Wet Leg. Looks like they're still on their way to some kind of world domination, definitely. This next track, I didn't pick this song, but it's a band that does fascinate me because I think Damon Albarn from Blur has admitted that kind of Ray Davies was kind of one of his songwriting tutors from a distance, just from being a fan of his. I think, Damon Albarn has admitted that there was a massive influence on his songwriting from Ray Davies. And whenever I listen to a King song, I try to find that influence. And I think you can hear it in this. And this is definitely one of my favourite King songs. This is Lola. Oh, God. As young people say, that song triggers me. That was I Heard a Rumour by Bananarama. And basically, that song reminds me of getting dumped when I was getting close to 20 or something. So yes, that song brings back that memory, definitely. This next song brings back the memory of touring with Ian Brown. This song had just come out, My Star, and I loved the video for it. I loved the kind of the paranoia and shakiness of this record. And this is My Star by Ian Brown. That was Seven Seas by the Bunnymen. That's the first concert I ever went to in 1985 or 1986. I'm constantly 1 year out like Ken Bruce these days. I'm not sure if it was 85 or 86. But it was back then it was Bristol Coast Hall, which is now called, of course, the Bristol Beacon for good reason. And myself, Sean and Richie went to see that gig, and it's probably one of the most important nights of my life. It taught me what the power of rock and roll really could be, in all its majesty, in all its power, in all its lyricism, and in all its true colour. It was an amazing night. So that was Seven Seas by the Bunnymen. And this next song, bit of a strange choice for me. This summer I had to take a member of my family to a concert in the stadium, Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And, it was a bit of a struggle for me with some of the songs. And then sometimes there would be a song which I absolutely loved. And this was one of those. This is Kill Bill by SZA. That's Almost Saturday Night by Dave Edmunds. I used to bump into him in Waitrose up in Monmouth when we were recording at Rockfield Studios. Obviously, he hasn't been very well lately, so that was played for him and all his family, and I hope they're okay. So this next track is a track from this year's Green Man. This is somebody that I met up with at the Voices Festival last year, and it was great to see her again. I've sang with her before, and it's always a pleasure to meet up with her. So this is Georgia Ruth, Do Nay Magic from Green Man.
Thank you so much.
That was Georgia Ruth from Green Man, Do Nay Magic. This next song I heard live about 5 weeks ago. We were playing at a festival up in Essex. We were playing with Ash and Charlatans. There are a couple of Charlatan songs I especially like. One called Guiding Light, which I thought was an amazing song. But they played this song that day too, and it sounded just as it used to sound. Tim was right on form with his flying V guitar, and he was still singing great. So this is Oh Yeah by Ash.
Oh yeah.
That's Buffalo Stance by Nene Cherry. I thought it was an amazing record when it came out. I used to go to a bar in Notting Hill when I was living there called The Globe, and sometimes she would just be in the corner just DJing, and I was always quite starstruck by that. Anyway, moving on to another female icon. I went to see this lady in concert in Cardiff around about 2 years ago in St David's Hall. I went on a Sunday night with my little bag of opal fruits, and I sat down and I had a really nice old man Sunday all to myself. Fair to say this is my second crush of the show. Suzanne Vega was a big crush of mine when she first appeared on the Whistle Test in 83 or 84 when I was about 15 or 14. And yes, I saw her perform this song 2 years ago at the St David's Hall. I hope that place is going to be open again soon. So this is Marlena on the Wall by Suzanne Vega. So this has been James Bradfield. Don't call me has been. It has been James Bradfield sitting in for Hugh. Thanks for listening. It has been actually a really good experience. I've enjoyed it. But I'm sure that you're all eagerly waiting for Hugh to return, as I am myself. So that last song I talked of as being one of my crushes when I was about 14 or 15. So it's only appropriate now that the last song I dedicate to my current crush, my wife. This is True Colours by Cyndi Lauper. Thanks for listening. I'm James Bradfield. That's it from me. thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's actually been some fun doing this. So thanks for listening. Thanks for letting me share this music with you and some of my useless wittering on. You can always listen back on BBC Sounds if you've missed a second. Illyria is up next after the news and weather for Wales. Thanks a lot.